My girls, please don't treat me badly. I just want to support you, as I always have. I've given you everything I have, Donna Gertrude said to her twins, who humiliated her for having a condition called dwarfism and for being poor. They had always been cruel to their mother until they reached adulthood and left home to abandon her. When they were little, they were affectionate, but they had an uncle who always spoiled them. The dear mother tried to correct them, but they got used to ignoring her and became selfish women. They got involved with older men so they could be pampered and spoiled in everything. Over time, the sisters opened a business and received an unexpected visit from their mother. Seeing her enter the premises, they exclaimed, "What are you doing here? You can leave now. You embarrass us. Can't you see that nobody wants you here? You scare away our customers." One of the daughters, the old lady, watched them with a sad look and simply replied, "Some gentleman gave me something I want to share with you, my daughters," and without any trouble, the sisters pushed her out of the place. The old lady returned to her town very sad and disappointed. Weeks later, the twins had the biggest surprise of their lives when they saw their mother on television and social media, realizing they had made the worst mistake of their lives. Donna Gertrudes was a humble old lady who lived in the village of Palmata in the city of Pluma in Peru. She was an only child and couldn't read. Her parents passed away, leaving her when she was only 6 years old. From that moment on, she lived in shelters run by kind-hearted nuns. She was born with dwarfism, and every time she left the shelter, she was ridiculed by people who stared at her. From a very young age, she devoted herself to God and always helped the needy. When she turned 18, she decided to follow her own path, thanking the Mother Superior, saying, "Thank you, Mother, for all these years you've had me here. Now I decide to follow my own path and hope to one day find a good man and have my own family." The mother embraced her tightly and blessed her. Gertrude started looking for work in her town where, seeing the tourism, they made restaurants for those coming from outside. She wasn't ashamed, and with her size, she knocked on the doors of various businesses saying, "Excuse me, sir, I need to work. I saw this advertisement. I don't know if you can give me a little job." The managers of different restaurants looked at her and mocked her, telling her, "Look, young lady, you won't get a job in restaurants. I think you could work if you join the circus." The lady looked at them and said to the people who were laughing at her, "God bless you greatly." No one gave her work until she reached a farm called Los Abuelos. Gertrude's, with her small size, saw that they needed personnel there. She knocked on the door and said, "Good afternoon, I need to work." The foreman, with a rough voice and a very unpleasant physical appearance, didn't mock her. He just said, "We need people who work. Can you handle the job?" Gertrude said yes. The foreman, named Amador, put her to the test to see the performance of the young woman. As the days went by, Gertrude's met expectations, and Amador, seeing her good performance, decided to rely on her. The days passed, and the rude and bitter Amador began to fall in love with Gertrude's. She was surprised because she thought she would be alone all her life and that no man would notice her, exactly because of the same problem of her size. Seeing that a man was pursuing her, she felt happy, thinking he was the right man. She quickly accepted the flattery of that man, and after several months of courtship and the kind way he treated her, she decided to start a relationship with him. She confessed that she couldn't read. "Look, Gertrude's, it doesn't matter if you can't read. I can teach you. I only care that you're a good woman," he said. She was impressed with everything her partner told her, and they moved in together. One day, she went to work on the farm very early, as the strong cultivation period was coming. Suddenly, she fainted in the middle of work, and immediately, the people informed the foreman. "You guys keep working, don't pay attention to that. Whatever's wrong with her is because of the sun making her dizzy. So, keep going," Amador said. He didn't approach where she was, and Gertrude's, very surprised, went to the back of the farm where the veterinarian was. Examining her, he said, "I'm an animal doctor, but I can't say that you're pregnant." Amador forced his partner to return to work, and 3 hours later she went to the hospital in the small town where they cleared all doubts, telling her she was 2 months pregnant. Gertrude was very happy. She was eager to get home and tell her husband. At night, Amador came home very drunk, telling her, "Hey, dwarf, serve me food. Can't you see I'm very tired?" The lady attended to him, and at that moment, she said, Love, I have to tell you something. I'm pregnant." He immediately knocked the plate of food and said, "What do you mean?" I don't want to have children yet, and certainly not with you." Gertrude's, very sad, said to him, "But you said you loved me. It's the fruit of our love that's on the way." Gertrude's packed her things and immediately went to her room to cry. She was 2 months pregnant, and the doctor clearly said she couldn't exert herself physically, as it was a high-risk pregnancy. Amador didn't care at all about any of this and still made her work. Often he didn't come home to sleep or arrived smelling of another woman's perfume. Or maybe very drunk. Little Gertrude's went through a very sad pregnancy until the months passed and the 9 arrived. Gertrude's called her partner saying, "Amador, I'm not feeling very well. I'm in a lot of pain and I'm 9 months pregnant. I think something bad is going to happen. Help me, please." "You know what, woman? Go to the village hospital. I'll give you the money and you can go by taxi," he said. "Yes, goodbye. I have to work," said her husband. Gertrude's left her little house feeling very ill, and a man passing by with his horse took her to the city hospital. The nurses immediately took her to the room so she could give birth. Amador arrived at the hospital after 2 hours asking for his partner, saying, "Do you have news of the dwarf?" She was about to give birth. The doctor came out saying, "Sir, I don't understand how you can speak of your partner in such a way. Congratulations, first of all, you've had 2 twin daughters." Amador began to deny, saying, "No, I didn't want a child, no. It can't be, I thought it was just 1 and now 2. "And the woman?" the doctor asked. The foreman didn't wait for his wife and went back to work. Gertrude's, with the help of the hospital guard, went home very sad, thinking her husband would be there to greet her. Days passed, and Gertrude's was waiting. Suddenly, when someone came to the door, she realized it was the owner of the farm, an old man with a kind heart, who said, "We regret to inform you that your husband, while feeding the horses, one of them kicked his head and lost his life." It was a very hard blow for her, who had 2 daughters and didn't know what to do. The former farm owner told her, "Ma'am, when you're ready to return to work, the doors will be open for you." As time passed, Gertrude's became both father and mother to her little twins who never had the warmth of a father. The little sisters asked, "Mom, our daddy is in heaven, watching over us, right? He was a real man." "Yes, daughters, he was a good man," that's what the mother said. Over time, the girls went to school and were teased by their classmates. They were told that their mother was a dwarf and they didn't want to play with them because they didn't want to catch that disease. The twins came back home crying while Gertrude's worked on the farm to try to give the best to her daughters. The girls became very resentful and started feeling ashamed of their mother. They were of normal stature and just wanted to finish school to move elsewhere. "Hey, sister, I want to finish school so I can leave too, and then we can find men with money." That's how the 2 sisters finished school. They didn't even say goodbye to their mother. They went to try their luck in the capital and look for a job in anything. First, they tried at a diner, and seeing that the money wasn't enough, they decided to join a nightclub. They worked at night and rested during the day until one day, 2 German brothers met them when they were having fun at a bar. Seeing them, they were dazzled by the physical appearance of the 2 sisters and immediately made them an indecent proposal. Both immediately accepted the large sum of money that was proposed. Gradually, they accumulated money, and years could pass, but they would never call their mother. They set up a shoe store in the best areas of the capital, and thanks to the money the Germans had given them. On the other hand, Mrs. Gertrude's was elderly and had health problems. The state wanted to build a luxurious airport, as tourism had grown in that city, and those responsible for building the airport had to demolish the houses in that area. Many people didn't want to, but others did, until they knocked on the door of Mrs. Gertrude's house warning, "Ma'am, how are you? We are a project developed by the Peruvian state, and we are going to build an airport in this entire area. But so that you are not harmed, we are offering a very good amount for you to buy 2 houses and even 2 cars if you want." Mrs. Gertrude's didn't know how much the check was because she didn't know the numbers, until she showed the money to a nun. "Gertrude's, it's a lot of money. Keep your check and do the best you can." Mrs. Gertrude's accepted what they told her and, feeling lonely, accepted the check, leaving her little house to be demolished. With the little money she had saved, she went to the capital, and on a piece of paper, she had the address of the rooms where the sisters lived. Upon arriving in the capital, she handed that piece of paper to the taxi driver who took her to the same house. The lady asked for her daughters, and the room owner said that the daughters no longer live here. They have a business. Let me give you the address." The lady took a taxi with the address in hand and went to her daughter's business. Upon arrival, she said, "Daughters, my twins, how are you? I came here to celebrate with you. I have a check with money." The embarrassed sisters said, "Get out of here. I don't know you." The mother replied, "It's me, your mother." One of the twins pushed the mother out of the business and splashed water on her. The very sad old lady turned and went to the church to cry, where a priest advised her, saying, "Daughter, go where you feel happy." The poor lady listened to him and returned to her town, withdrew the money from the bank, and donated it to the shelter where she lived, fixed the church in her town, and did many good deeds. People began to spread the word about Mrs. Gertrude's and her kind heart. Even on social media and television, they talked about the great heart of Mrs. Gertrude's. The daughters were abandoned by the Germans and kicked out by the owner of the establishment. And when they saw what their mother did on TV, they said to themselves, "Our mother was right. We treated her badly all the time, and she just wanted to share that money with us. How foolish we were." The sisters would regret it for the rest of their lives, all because they always made their mother feel bad. Gertrude's was in the shelter where she wanted to spend her last years, with all the tranquility, above all, with the happy consciousness of having helped the needy, while the daughters were even expelled from the apartment, and all because of their bad behavior towards their mother and everyone else. Friends, we have reached the end of another beautiful and touching story. If you enjoyed the video, leave your like, and if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe, and share the video with your friends and family. See you soon with more stories like this. A big hug and God bless.